Welcome to the Ash Brothers podcast, and in today's episode we had controversial TikToker Antoni Suave in the studio. So to be honest, we're just hoping that it's not going to get banned.
Don't get cancelled.
So we covered things like do's and don'ts in relationships, the evolution of comedy. I mean, that is really, really interesting when we actually break it down. Political correctness that's gone mad, or has it? And of course, can your girl or should your girl be allowed to do OnlyFans?
Liking posts when you're in relationships, all that sort of stuff. Getting off your ass, getting into the gym, good habits, touching on my gambling problems, and then, you know, overcoming depression. And good life stories.
Bit of mental health in there as well. And this was really, really good. Banging. So I hope you enjoy it. Right, guys, so the latest episode of the Ash Brothers podcast. So I'm Tyron Ash.
And I'm Reis Ash.
I'm Antoni Suave.
Antoni.
So Antoni Suave. So for those that don't know him, I actually came into contact with this guy through TikTok. So he's got...
funny story.
So he's got what I would describe as probably a borderline controversial TikTok, but at the same time... It definitely gets traction. I think you got, 3.7 million likes, 123,000 followers, is it, or something?
Yeah, the views grow up. Funny story is how I first started. This first video, it was from during lockdown. Came back to my Ibiza, stuck in my bedroom for 5 days. And I was like, all right, downloaded TikTok. And I saw someone doing the pointer video. So I saw the content. I was like, oh, let me do one on... just about women. And I was like, when she says
about women.
You know, it literally was like,
how did you land it?
it was already going downhill from the start. But it was basically saying, when she says, I bet you're still talking to other girls, right? And then my pointer video, I said, well, obviously I'm still single. That got 1 million views in a week.
Wow.
From nothing. Like literally, I just downloaded it, like 100 followers, and it got 1 million views in a week. I was thinking,
you're onto something.
Yeah. And then the next day I done another one and it was just blowing up. And then people were like, wow, this is some true facts this guy's spitting. I was like, is it?
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm still single.
I mean, can we get a look at one of the videos? Is that possible?
Yeah. I mean,
Let me get one of these up. So this is how I come into contact with you. And also we got speaking at an event we met at.
I remember.
And I actually walked over to him and I was like, I just watched one of your videos. Here we go.
And that one as well.
So when will females realise that every guy speaks
reserve
to
numbers as well?
3 to 5 different
women a day.
That's a slow weekend for you.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Now the thing is, no, but this is a day. Don't forget, this is a day. But
threw me under the bus straight away. First opportunity.
Kill or be killed.
do you know the backlash I got for that is actually crazy?
It's so true. That's funny.
So just slow that. Pause it.
Just pause that one right there.
Oh, go back.
Right when it's all done. So go. Yeah. Let's get it right. So let's pause it. So how to lose a woman. Ready? So this is for any guys. This is Antoni's.
Get your notebook out.
Advice on how to lose a woman that you're interested in super fast.
Yeah.
Reply fast to her.
I agree.
And let's break that down.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's break one at a time down.
No, I think
replying fast. Doesn't that not? For some girls, they're just like, oh my god, he's too interested in me.
Yeah,
it's a red flag. It's an ick. Because I replied, because we're doing instant messaging. Sorry, I have to wait 3 to 5 hours and leave you on blue ticks. I don't play these games.
Yeah.
But to some degree, they like I know that he's not interested. I want him. But yet you show interest.
I think there's an element on both sides where like you know. Everybody wants what they can't have. Yeah. And I think that is always, how society works. You always want the car that you can't quite afford. You always want a t-shirt that's really expensive compared to the one that isn't. And of course, when it comes to obviously a partner,
one that doesn't reply to you.
but you do. As a partner, it's like, for example, you don't want someone who's like super keen, because then you think, well, there's nothing mysterious about this. This person's not even busy. They're just sat next to their phone,
refreshing their
waiting
inbox.
for me to message them. So I suppose, breaking that down further. So like, if a man is responding really fast, and I'd love to hear in the comments.
Oh no,
what
I'm
girls
going through
actually
What's
think
fast?
about this.
What's fast though? Are you talking instant? Are you talking?
So if a
Within a few
girl
minutes.
responds to a man, and then the
10
man is just
minutes
like, "Hi babe, How are you?
Red.
What are you doing?
Red.
Bang.
Yeah,
red.
yeah,
Reply.
yeah.
Red. Reply.
I mean, look, in this day and age, we're all on our phone.
Exactly. So it's not
So
quick,
surely
is
if you
it?
send a message, you would expect to reply. All right, if it's like sporadic throughout the day, you're working, cool. But at the end of the day, and then you're having a conversation. But how do you differentiate between a fast reply and a reply which is gonna get
acceptable?
them? Yeah,
So it's game playing, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's
'Cause
the
in this day and age,
because
you
it's
just got
funny
time
that
for
when you're
games.
actually in a relationship, it's bang, 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 reply. That's
Yeah.
it.
and if you don't, then it's the
You're like,
opposite.
why not reply?
Yeah.
It's the opposite when you're in a relationship.
Yes.
You haven't replied to a message all day. What are you doing?
So that
Where
I think.
are you?
So I think yeah, we'd love to hear from people like about whether that is a myth or whether you're literally seeing the message come up
Yeah.
and then you think, do you know what?
If
I better
girls
not
actually, yeah.
show that girl that I'm really interested, so I'm going to leave it for a few hours.
Well, girls in the comments, leave like what's an amicable amount of time before a guy should reply? Like, what camera do I even look at? That one. Yeah.
That's a good.
Like, what's
good place
a
to
good
start.
amount of time that you want a guy to really wait before
Yeah.
and then keep interested?
with beads of sweat dripping down his head and he's like shaking on his phone. Like,
It was like,
I need to message
He's just
her.
looking at. He sat in the room looking at his
been too
phone
soon,
like
it's been
that.
7
Like,
minutes.
I can see the message.
7
He's
minutes
pacing
too
up.
pacing up and down like.
She's not going to think I'm busy. I'm busy though. I am busy.
Look how busy I am. Hey, babe, so busy.
Right, the next one on this video.
Controversial.
This is a controversial.
Yeah. Should have been at the bottom, I think.
No, because they already
Show
hooked at this point.
loyalty.
Yeah, I really didn't think this video through. I didn't think this video through. The more I look at it and the more I'm trying to break it down, I really should have been cancelled sooner.
I mean, that one's very.
I mean, I guess that it was thrown out there to be a bit controversial. I think there's definitely elements of, I think it's been advertised through different people's videos and content that people are saying that a man is more desirable if they're speaking to multiple women. Where would we sit with that? Because that's a controversial subject.
I don't know where to
I mean,
start.
it's a lot of minefields.
It's
A lot of
very
IEDs going off
Yeah,
underneath
very-
your feet.
very
I'm just saying,
difficult.
this is from my experience. Like, some of these videos that actually happened to me, which is where I got the inspiration
Yeah.
from. In this day and age, if you're single, you're talking to multiple people. It's facts. If you're
Right.
single, you're playing
Yeah.
the field. I've never been one for that. I've always just been one for, if I'm talking to one girl, I see how it goes. If it goes well, great. If it's
Yeah.
not, then I move on. Because I just
Understood.
think it's fair. Because if
Yeah,
it doesn't happen
I
to me,
agree,
then
yeah.
it's a bit unfair on the other people.
I agree.
Now, it's happened in the past where I'm talking to a girl, back and forward a week, and I was like, oh, so when am I taking you out for dinner? And then a bit slow with the reply. So I was thinking, all right, cool, maybe she's busy. Cool, I get that. Everyone's busy. And then she hits me up with the next week saying, oh, sorry, I've got a boyfriend now. So I'm thinking, whoa, well, shit. It's like,
I was
well, damn.
semi-invested in you, and it's kind
Yeah,
of
I was like, yeah. So it kind of made me think, I was like, when you're single, everyone plays the field. And I always say to people, I was like, that's what I'm doing wrong. When I'm dating, I just date one person. If it doesn't go well, that's just
Yeah,
how I
yeah.
am. But some people are like, no, you need to play the field more. I was like, I'm not really one for that because I wouldn't like it happening to me. It's going to sound like a bitch, but I was like,
No, I don't think it does sound like a bitch. I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
And I also think that anyone who kind of goes in with that attitude, I think you hold a certain moral high ground because the reality is, let's face it,
Then you can almost-
if you've got that attitude and then someone is you like go and speak to them and then they're like, oh, I'm speaking to multiple people, or you find out they're speaking to multiple people. For me, from a personal point of view, I wouldn't be interested in that person anymore. And I think that
don't take you much to.
red flag.
Yeah, to get a red flag.
Yeah, and I think so. But then there is
It comes
the
in
argument.
time though, doesn't it? You can't go straight to.
There's the argument,
We've gone
yeah,
on
there's-
one date, and
Why
then
are you
you're
not
going. Well, I'm
invested?
all
Well,
in
it's
on
hard,
this.
isn't it?
Where do you draw the line on?
exactly.
Yeah.
If
It's
you
very
both,
grey.
yeah, like let's say you hit
blurred.
it off on the first date and you're like, wow. But then she might be, oh, I'm not too sure yet.
Yeah,
Where
because
do you- where
one
do you go
person
from
might
there?
have
That's what I'm
invested in
saying.
the other.
That's
Where'd you
what
go
I'm
from there?
saying. Yeah, it's exactly what
I
I'm
don't think
saying.
there's a right or wrong. I think
It's
Your
tough
gut
in this day and
instinct,
age.
what
isn't
you're
it?
willing to.
Your
It's what
gut
you're willing to
instinct.
put up with.
And don't forget how easy and accessible it is in this day and age with online, like,
I know.
it's
Yeah.
to be loyal is like every girl's like, what's your top 3 traits for a guy? And they're like, oh, tall. I was like, well, we can't change that. Good looking. All right, cool. And then
now you're just describing me.
Describe it.
Oh, I feel like I'm getting dragged into this.
well, but they always say loyalty. And for that to be a trait in this day and age is actually a problem. Like, it shouldn't even
Yeah.
just be like a consideration. It should be like everyone's loyal.
It's a given, isn't it?
yeah.
When you get to that point.
No, I get it. Yeah. Well, the next one's an absolute whopper.
Oh yeah, care about her. I forgot about this.
Oh God, these are getting worse.
I think it just gets progressively worse as we go deeper into the video.
Just want to say this is a novelty video for TikTok,
think
so it was designed for traction.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And it got it.
Yeah.
But listen, I think
care about her. For those who haven't read it, care about her. Yeah.
I mean,
does
I don't
that
know where to
mean?
start on that one.
Yeah, what does that mean? Care about her.
What I would probably start with is I'd probably saying maybe the sentence might be at the start to care too much. I think that I'm just trying to bail you out here. But
At this point, I've already been. I've been for another
Just adding
many
verbs
times.
around.
Just literally.
I'm just padding it up.
Adding descriptive and adjectives in there and stuff.
So
if you're just there too much for her, they just get put off. In the sense of like, okay, if it's early stage and you're like, oh, like let me take her for dinner. Oh, it's only been like a couple months, but here's present.
Do you have your own shit in, or you can't like if they're going like,
Yeah.
oh, come and pick me up from here, or come get me from here, like.
You're not an Uber driver.
Yeah,
like,
to the point where they just walk all over you. Then it's like,
get
cool.
a taxi. I'll get your own way, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Get an Uber.
Do you think somebody who, because also I think probably someone who's like maybe over the top with like, okay, flowers every day after like, the first date, or like, just basically melting it, dragging you into it. But like effectively just going full hammer and tong on like, almost being a little bit of a drip. I think that must be a bit of an ick to a lot of
in
women.
This day and age, because they've got so many options. They're like, oh, well, this guy's not interested in me. I want him. Whereas this guy actually shows and cares about me. I reckon that can be long term, but for now, it's not for me.
Just thinking out loud, I think again, great to hear what you got to say about it, is that if you're that full on that early, it almost comes across like she could be anyone. Do you know what I mean?
I think it comes across a little bit desperate from the man.
It doesn't matter what girl you are. I've dated you. I would have done this for any girl.
Hi, babe. Why are you not replying?
Yeah,
Hi, babe.
yeah.
Nice date.
You've been online.
An hour ago.
Just saw you come online. Haven't opened my message. Just
Before I drop you an email, I think your phone was probably... Yeah, no.
I've just contacted O2 and there was no problems there. And
I've just bid on this on Depop. I've just bought your dress.
When she blocks you on everything and you send her money on Depop.
Yeah, you've
just to talk to her.
bought her a size 8 dress.
Please. Unblock me.
Note to seller.
Yeah. So I think like certainly probably holding your own a little bit, so you're not
have your own life, have your own shit together.
Like how I see it is in a relationship is both parties should be independent themselves, where you've got one person which independently have their life, the other person, and then you come as one, not one person relying on the other person all the time, like I need you for this, can you do this? Everyone should like have their own lives to the point where it's like, cool, okay, you want to go for dinner with the girls, go for it. If I want to go dinner with the boys, don't like disturb me.
I agree. Yeah.
So it's not like I don't want you going out with the boys. Why? Like this is what I would have done when I was single. It shouldn't change because I'm in a relationship because I'm still happy. You do your thing.
Have
trust
your own
the
life.
relationship.
Yeah, exactly. Have your own life.
Otherwise, it's going to
if
be
you're around,
a balance.
do something.
Yeah.
But don't go out your way to be like, don't leave your lad's day early to go and pick her up from.
Exactly.
Because if there's ways around it. Stay with your boys, have a good time, as long as you're not crossing the line.
That's just how I see it.
Yeah.
Like, it should be two independent lives.
Balance. Yeah.
Two independent lives and you come as one.
100%. I agree.
So that goes on to like, just when you had your boys and that one guy gets a girlfriend and he stops coming out to go watch the football or go, whatever you're doing.
I need that time around like the lads.
Nothing beats lad time.
Nothing beats it. It's so like I love spending time with like my girlfriend and it's great. But it's different. Like, the time when you get with the lads, you just talk about things that lads talk about, and it's
There's
the banter.
No filter. You
The
just
banter,
say what you want.
and like you rip each other, and I start ripping my girlfriend. She start crying. But it's only banter. Like, it's only banter.
In this, you can't joke around.
How are you?
You just got your pint, but what?
Babe, does this dress make me look fat? No, the fat makes you look fat. Like, joke. It's a joke. No, I'm sorry. Oh, we still have to go for dinner.
God,
what happened the other day?
This is why I was cancelled, actually.
He said something. Like, you like a steak or something like that. And he was like, I'm just joking. And he went all hot and red. It's like, but he didn't mean anything bad by it because she was hanging. And he was meant to say that you look tired, but it come out wrong. And she was like,
sure. What?
And then you were like,
I was only joking.
I was joking. You look really nice. And I was fucking crying. It was class, mate.
Yeah, there's certain
she
things.
walked out and I went, look at the state of it.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
And then she was like, you know I'm clever. And I was like, it was a joke because you're hungover.
Yeah. It was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, there's certain things you can just joke around with certain people. Like, we all have those friends, and I know everyone's got that one friend that you can just be completely ruthless with, say anything without caring about any feelings, emotions. Especially in this day and age, you can't say certain things in front of a camera because you'll get cancelled, or everyone in the comments, all the Karens will be like, that's so wrong. I
think what I tell you what, with regards to sort of like, you know, what people are allowed to say, one of the things I absolutely love, I watched one of the stand-ups from Ricky Gervais the other day, and he was basically saying that when someone says what you have said is offensive, that's an incorrect statement. It's, I am offended by what you have said. It's offensive, because it's offensive is subjective. It's subjective as to who that affects. So someone could say a joke that has, like, I don't know, a racial undertone, and you know that person's not racist. And frankly, like, I'm all open for those types of jokes because I find them fucking hilarious as long as they're witty. The thing with me is, like, I believe crossing the line with having an offensive joke or making an offensive crack at someone, as long as it's intelligent and it's tastefully and it's intelligent, I laugh. So when I like watch Ricky Gervais, for example, some of the things he says, I mean, he touches on subjects that are like ridiculous subjects, but because he's intelligent and he's doing it to be ironic and he's doing it to be like controversial and it's laced with a lot of intelligence and a lot of wit, you laugh at it. If someone just walks into a pub and starts hurling racial abuse at someone, it's not tasteful. It's thick. It's stupid.
No, exactly.
And so you get offended. So what I'm saying is that, like, everything is subjective, and it blows my mind that it crosses into that line of like, that's right, that's wrong, because it is down to the audience, it's down to the scenario, it's down to who and what is interpreted by it. And I think that, like, people, I wish, it would never happen now, it's gone too far, the horse has bolted, but I wish there could be a lot less red tape around that, because frankly, a lot of it puts a lid on a lot of people's personalities, which are nice, you know, genuine personalities, and they might crack jokes in a certain way, and in normal life, I fucking laugh my head off at stuff like that.
Like, that's what I was even having this discussion with a lot of clients and friends. Comedy before, let's say even 5 years ago, was so ruthless to the point where if you're easily offended, don't watch him. Jimmy Carr's a prime example. He's so ruthless, and so, like, the jokes that he can say will just get him cancelled instantly. Obviously, he says it's a joke for these kind of people.
Yeah, he wants people to gasp and be like,
we were just talking about it the other day, and like Little Britain when it came out. I mean, oh my
god!
Of
Catherine Tate. Do you remember her?
Come Fly With Me as well.
Come Fly. That was bad. Come Fly
With
Me was brutal.
There's all these things that are just so to the point where we all find it funny, but then obviously as some people
there was like racial jokes, like undertone jokes in Little Britain, and I'm not sitting there going, oh my god! When
the little Indian girl comes over and says, "I made these cookies," and she's like,
and the old boy was like,
show the video.
Can we get that
my
video
god!
Of like, it was like,
it was that. Oh my god,
honestly,
that was probably the best one.
Unbelievable, and it's kind of like
it's just it like
it just threw up on everyone. It was like,
all because the little girl was Indian.
She's like, oh, these are lovely.
Who made that? Oh, Anisha.
No, Margaret. No.
Let's see if we get this out.
But to us, we just laughed organically because I know
they're not
we
racist.
just laughed organically because we haven't seen it for so long.
It's the situation. It's the fact that it's so ridiculous that this woman who is painted to be an old school English woman that's so set in her ways that if anything isn't done by a purebred English person, she will vomit. It's just nuts. And like, that is not racist. It's ironic. It's like it's hilarious because it's so ridiculous. And that's why it's funny. So intelligent people will watch it and laugh, whether they're black, white, Asian, doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you'll get maybe a narrow-minded person who'll go, I don't like that. That's offensive. And it's like, but that's David Walliams dressed in a dress as an old woman. He's not an old English woman.
He's playing a character.
He's playing a character that is a ridiculous character. Now, don't get me wrong.
Out there,
Pan 5 years, 10 years before and then the offence gets a bit more, because if you go through the history of comedy, you've got like, you've literally see there is lines with it, because you've got comedies like Love Thy Neighbour. So if anyone's ever watched that was fucking racist, and that's not clever humour. There you go. Look,
like
it was normal
within seconds.
No, but that was normal.
Yeah.
This was on like BBC. So this isn't some little random internet video.
Yeah.
So when you actually look at the progression of what was acceptable and what was not acceptable.
Yeah, what was that, 1970? They just
this was normal. And
British TV show.
you know, and the guy's openly just saying, "Oh, you're a black troublemaker. You're a nignog. You're this. You're that," and it's normal. And like that is how it's evolved. Now it's always been that there has been lines of what's okay and what's not okay, but where we've got into is really, I would call them choppy waters, because social media now, it's not a program on television. We're talking about what you just said. We're talking about someone who is in their bedroom, who set their phone up and done a video. That's different. That's not a production team getting together and coming up with an idea. That's one man and his phone who's done a video that goes out to the world. How do you put a lid on that? Well, that's what they're doing at the moment.
Do you think that's why there's so much red tape out there to try and stop?
It's a dangerous thing, isn't it? Because you're talking about trying to keep everyone happy while allowing everyone to speak. It's an impossible task.
It's very contradictory, isn't it? The whole social media thing is about freedom of speech. You can say what you like, and then you say one thing slightly off key, and you find you've
been kind of shadow banned. Literally, I'm shadow banned across all my platforms. So I post a video right now, and it gets less than 1,000 views.
Yes, nuts.
Because all my platforms, I don't know if Suave is just not searchable, but my TikTok, 1,000. I used to put up a video and 100K, like just because of people like, yes, I know I'm going to see it.
It's going to come up on their feet,
all the time.
Exactly,
My Instagram shadow banned. It's just like you can't really do anything where all my platforms are like, look what happened to Andrew Tate.
Oh, it's nuts.
Like, you've seen where his whole concept was clever. I was even had a discussion with you. If you want to be out there, you need to have loads of different accounts, flooding your face on everyone to the point where, who's this Tyron Ash? What does he do? I want to be like him. That's all Andrew Tate done.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that like when you talk about like, you know, there are people who are kind of fighting this battle. You've got people like Jordan Peterson. He gets a lot of stick, because obviously the far left people don't like the fact that he drives a message of what you would call masculinity, positive, what the male role is, what the female role is. He also is not playing ball with any of the kind of leftist views, if you want to call them leftist views.
Very intelligent way of delivering it as well. It's not kind of...
Yeah, he's not accepting the whole like people identifying as non-binary and, you know, and the gender neutral stuff. He's not accepting it. And like, you know, that's neither for us to comment on this today. But I was going to say
that's a grey area, because you can say to people, do you know how many? Just out of curiosity, do you know how many genders are in this world?
Isn't it like 142 or something ridiculous?
See.
Is that what it is?
No, it's 72.
72, yeah. No, but I knew it was a big number.
It was like,
that's nuts.
70, if you were to just throw on the screen, just literally throw some out there and then think, what are they? Like, I know there's one which someone...
7.
I mean, look, yeah, so we don't need to go through them all, but what I'm saying is that because of that, right,
68,
that gives you...
Gender,
No, but what that gives you is a whole world of red tape, a whole world of someone being offended, because you can almost not, these jokes that we're talking about that used to come up, and, you know, the television shows that used to just say something, or like he was, you know, leering over the guy's wife and all that sort of stuff. That's not okay. Yeah. But then, like, that I believe, now I've always said, and this is just my opinion, I've always said that I believe we grew up in the best era. I do believe that, because I loved our era of growing up. Now, okay, there were some touch and go things, but it was a very honest place to grow up. It was a very honest place to live. You know, you did. I mean, look, I went through racism and all sorts of things, but like you know, it was an honest place, and people said what they wanted to say, and you know that it's hard to say what's right or wrong with that, isn't it?
Comedy back in the day, Dave Chappelle, prime example. You both watched him, right?
Yeah.
His comedy back in the day, and now look, it's like he's obviously got paid a big amount from Netflix to launch his special, but his comedy back in the day was so ruthless to the point where he just offends everyone. Where I like comics where if they offend everyone equally, then no one's offended.
Yeah.
Because everyone gets a fair share.
Yeah.
You offend black people, white people, Indian, and then everyone gets a fair blast to the point where, all right, it's not just us,
Just
it's
not
everyone.
targeting one. Yeah.
No, but do you know what? The thing is that like every race, every gender, everyone has their quirks and has funny things about different things.
Exactly.
Like, I love the fact that, and it's the individuality of people that makes them funny. And you can be humorous, funny, and likable without. It doesn't mean you hate them. There's the two things are not mutually exclusive.
Exactly.
If you make a joke about someone and it's tasteful and it's intelligent, that doesn't mean you hate that person.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't mean you hate that person.
Very grey, isn't it?
He has a grey area in this day and age.
But you know, we've gone off sort of tangent as well. But it'd be good to get the last few points of your video back up.
Oh yeah,
if we can get that up.
Very.
So basically, I think we were on like don't show emotion.
Oh yeah, show emotion. So
show
how to lose them. Show emotion.
Yeah,
I remember it now.
Yeah. So show emotions. Yeah, and I think that like, what do you think? Do you think showing emotion is a weak thing as a man?
Not necessarily. I think showing too much emotion too soon probably is a bit risky.
I'm of the opposite end. I don't believe in it.
When was the last time you cried? When was the last time you cried?
And not about Aston Villa.
Ah, Ben.
That's a pain. I can see
Aston Villa.
every time I see your story, I was like, okay, yeah.
I'm like, why do I do this? Why do I put myself through it?
But like genuinely, like girls say they like guys that are emotionally available. Okay.
Yeah.
So they might ask you, when was the last time you cried? Can't remember.
I can't physically remember the last time I cried.
I don't think I can cry.
Yeah. In the comments below, when was the last time you
tried.
cried? Was it in the last year? Was it in it 5 years ago?
Yeah, is it
Was
okay
someone
for men
passing?
to cry? Like, I guess.
After sex.
I'll ask Chloe actually.
I always hear a woman crying from his room. I don't know.
Why was it so quick?
Ty, you're right. It just means so much.
If you add them all together, it's a normal time. Yeah.
It's like all this build up for 5 seconds. Why? Someone else.
Oh, I got obliterated there, didn't I?
Walked into that one. But yeah, like the emotions where they're like, oh, I like
But where's
that
the line with emotions? Because it's like, you know, I think it like, again, crosses, I think I saw like, you know, like Jack Joseph, he does some videos where he's like the walking ick, and he's been like really like mushy and emotional and like, and it is icky.
Yeah.
And it, you know, I can imagine a girl getting very
too much
turned
of it
off by that.
and too much. And yeah.
I
The funny thing is, I was going to wait to the end to say is, I am all these points, which is why I'm single. There's a spanner in the works for you. I'm behind the team there. I do all these things, which is why I'm still single.
Yeah.
Now, how to lose a woman? Shit. People are like, oh yeah, Antoni, I bet you get loads of girls.
They're all outside.
Yeah, queuing. Yeah. But where I've always had this, I kind of show the affection. I'm always there.
Yeah.
Or, all right, we're all busy, but if I've got time, I'll reply. But doing this too much is too much for girls nowadays.
I think
boundary.
as well, there's like a crossover. Again, there are certain. It's all about what that person wants. So like for me, I'm a very driven person. So like every time I get up, it's like I'm getting up and I'm going to war. That's what I feel like. So okay, I'm not comparing myself to a soldier. I believe they take far more risks than I do. But what I'm saying is, I'll get up at, you know, we're up at 6 a.m. We're in the gym, and then we're training, and we're doing things we don't necessarily want to do at 6 a.m. And we do it because it gets our mindset where we need to go. And then by the time we've done our calls and follow-ups, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. Most people are getting out of bed, and we've done more than probably most people are doing half a day. And that is down to my mindset. So it's very difficult for me to be in that mindset 6-7 days a week, and then something slightly upsets me or something I don't agree with, and suddenly I'm a bumbling wreck on the floor crying.
I think our industry has made us kind of, you can't get too emotionally distracted by if something's happened.
I look at everything logical.
Yeah, and go, right, well, if I spend too much energy on that, it's going to affect me in doing my 4 meetings later today. And it can make you go sort of emotionless in that. I know what you mean. You're quite extreme on on that end of the scale where it's kind of like
Yeah.
showing no emotion. But if you go so extreme, it is a bit cold and heartless. But I understand that when you do that, it keeps your shit together. You're not all over the place.
And also,
Do you know what I
I
mean?
think as well, right? It's like, maybe I'm wrong, but the person who you're with, like, if I'm constantly just this mushy, icky mess around, like, my girlfriend, I'm sure she's going to get tired of that. And actually, when I'm, like, quite straight working, like, doing everything I need to do, and I'm pretty direct with everything, and then when we have our time together or whatever, I can show a bit of emotion, I can show love, I can show appreciation, all that sort of stuff. That surely is a much more valuable thing to give than someone who, the minute she gets up in the morning, I'm in her face, like,
cuddling her, making her breakfast.
Can't let her I don't know. She probably wants me to be like that.
No,
but
I think you're right, because you can't do it all the time, because it takes it being special away.
Yes.
I think if you are up at 5:30, you're not lying in till 8:30, because sometimes girls want a bit of a lie-in and a cuddle sort of thing. If you're not doing that, and you're getting up and leaving them without giving them a kiss and a cuddle, then they'll appreciate it on the Friday or the Saturday night or whenever it is you're together.
When it's scheduled in my diary.
Yeah. You get that. Cuddle. Can someone get that in my...
6:30 to 6:35, cuddle with Chloe. Okay, good.
6:36, right, thanks.
Well, that's been fantastic. We should do that again next week.
But you always have to think.
I'll get onto my PA.
She obviously fell for you for who you are.
Yeah.
Why you suddenly changed that? Like, you woke up at 6. She was appreciated. She was like, wow, like, he's driven. No one wants to wake up at 6 to go gym. And it differs
true.
you from everyone else. Like you said, I normally have 3 clients, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm back to back with clients.
Yeah.
Now I'm training these clients because they are just like you guys.
Yeah.
They're just working from the moment they finish the gym, and that's their day. Now 9 o'clock, I'm thinking 3 clients in. I didn't want to wake up if I have to. Obviously, to people to be in the gym at 6 o'clock, they know they got to where they are because of these sacrifices. No one wants to wake up early. No one says, oh, I can't wake up. Everyone would wake up and be like, I'll go gym tomorrow. I'll go gym this evening. You're not going to go.
Nah.
When I get past 10:30 a.m., you can forget about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The day, it's gone.
I think when we started, is like you'd go in a little bit later. I've always been a bit of an early bird because of when I was getting up early before. But we were done by, I think you'd sorted 2 pieces of shit out that were like, it was 8:30 in the morning. I think I closed a deal, and something else had happened. It's 8:30, and we're like, right.
And I said, Jesus,
Literally.
we've just done a day's work. And it's not even 9 a.m.
To some people, and they've just on their way, sit on the
Yeah.
tube, playing Candy Crush on their phone, thinking, can't bother for this job. Well, are you going to do something about it?
It's funny you say that, right? I always remember I have this memory, and you've just kind of jogged it now, I remember when I was like just starting out, and I didn't have a car in London, so I was like jumping on the tube to my viewings and the buses and stuff like that. And I always remember I was still so motivated. I had less knowledge than I did now, but I was super driven, super motivated, listening to all the podcasts, listening to all the audiobooks, all that sort of stuff. And I remembered like tuning my brain into like trying to be successful and all that stuff. And I remember being on the tube, and there was like a guy, and I used to see it multiple times. I remember there's one guy right next to me, and he was, he's a bit overweight, and he had like dirty clothes, and he didn't look like he was going to the best job ever. I can't remember. It's a bit of a vague. It was you, I think. Yeah.
And
that's how me and Reis went into business.
And he set him up. Wow.
Well, the rest is history.
And that's how I met my brother.
And that's how I met my brother. Yeah.
That would be the funniest.
So where was I going?
Carry on with that.
No, but like, and I just remember looking down, and this guy was like playing one of those games, and he was intense, and then he'd lose the game because he was on pretty much the whole route as I was on.
Yeah.
And he was getting really annoyed. He was like, oh, fuck's sake, because he lost this game, and he'd go again, and this little man was running through the hoops and all this stuff and doing the things, and I was just like. And I remember thinking, if you put half as much effort into your own life as you did that game, like maybe, I don't know, maybe your situation might be different. Maybe he's really happy and I was just making a judgment, who knows. But like, it was just that effort that was going into that game. And I just thought, that's a waste of your effort. That's a waste of your time,
You ask people, are they genuinely happy? They play that because it takes the reality away from the real world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Overweight, he's probably unhappy. So he's overweight, overeats, and therefore he's going to stay overweight. Probably can't get girls, might be unhappy with work, can't get the promotion.
Yeah.
So online video games,
escape,
mobile
isn't
games
it?
is his escape. Literally exactly that.
Yeah.
So people do that just as a block, so they don't have to worry about anything else. Because for him, it's just that little bit of fun that gets him through the day.
Everyone's got their escape, and I remember when I was younger and probably a bit more immature, was that
Drinking?
I didn't really enjoy my
Still our escape. Yeah.
Drinking's everyone's escape.
Didn't really enjoy my career when I was plumbing and that. I wasn't didn't enjoy it. My escape was, like you say, when you said you were messaging, when I was single, messaging girls, that's how I'd occupy my day.
Yeah.
Is you'd be like messaging when you're single.
The fast
messaging
replies.
Girls. Yeah. And you're doing it. And and I went through that stage of being whatever you want to label it, how they want to call it, as whatever kind of fuck boys.
Yeah, literally that.
But when I'm so busy at work now...
Glad times have changed.
But no, when you're so busy at work and you're closing deals, you're prospecting, you're doing all this, you haven't got time to be messaging 5 to 10 girls at a time.
Taking that to at least 3 to 5.
Drop it down. You've got to bring those numbers down, guys.
Yeah.
Rookie numbers
there.
But it's true, and that was whatever your escape is, alcohol or doing that, and it's different for everyone, isn't it? Or both. I mean, you throw someone else in there and you got a hell of a night.
You went gambling as well, didn't you?
There's so many escapes.
Yeah, Reis was a gambler.
Yeah, I was a really bad gambling addict, and that was because I remember I was dating this girl at the time.
Horse training, wasn't she?
No, it's called horse training. And we were shopping in the Bull Ring, and obviously coming up from Milton Keynes, like a big day out, wasn't it? We were big day out going to the Bull Ring, Selfridges. We ain't got any of that.
No, none of that.
And I was big into my gambling. I used to bet on horses, really into my horses, and I bet on this horse. I bet 1,200 quid. Bearing in mind, it wasn't a lot of money then. I was putting on like 30, 40 grand a year.
So that's
whatever.
like your typical average. No, because this is like good for people at home, which is the typical average person. Everyone's earning hypothetically 30, 40.
I was on the Betfair exchange. I thought I was very good at it because you'd always hear about when I won and all that. And she was shopping, picking up, look at this. And I bet 1,200 quid on this horse to place just in the top 3.
Oh, God.
And it comes Stonewall last.
Stonewall last.
And I was only going to win £400 profit from 1,200 quid. So it was like a dead...
It was like a dead...
Yeah, I was like, that'll boost me up because I lost a couple bets. And then have... Anyone that gambles will know this overwhelming sick... Because you don't gamble a penny, do you?
No.
You don't gamble a pound. It's so strange. Whereas me, I was like that. What do you think of this dress? And I was like, oh, fuck, I couldn't give a fuck about your dress. Like, you ain't buying it now, that's for sure. I'm fucking skinned.
Wow, that must have been
And
nuts.
it was horrible. But no, and that was my escape. And it took me to ban myself.
People have destroyed entire families over gambling. Gambling is an extremely serious
really bad.
issue.
And it took for her to be... Do you remember she was crying to mum that time, saying he's got a gambling problem?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was chatting to her dad one time, doing £500 spins on this online slot, and I lost £4,000 in about 2 seconds. And I was literally there, lying there, like, I couldn't give a shit about what you got to say, mate. I'm fucking, I feel like dying. Like,
and that's that's
reality.
That's reality. You earn 30 grand, you pull home after tax 2.5 minus the bills, and you're only left with X amount. For you to spend that kind of money,
that's 2 months of
that's how you have to look at it. So that's some people's escape, which is why they drive themselves into this hole where they're going to get overweight. They're going to end up playing games on their phone, and that's just their escape.
Yeah, whatever it is.
And they're just never happy.
Mad.
Whereas I rate what both you guys do. It's like, you want to have a nice lifestyle. You see these things online, go out and work. Everyone wants these things, but they don't have the same drive.
I think one of the things that I would always advise anyone is, if you want to feel better about yourself, and a lot of things, because people talk about. I saw some horrible videos. I think maybe that HS TikTok put up, and he was trying to motivate people. I get it, but he was basically saying mental health isn't a real thing, and that's complete bullshit.
Badly,
Mental health is a very serious thing. However, I am a believer that doctors and people like this will not solve your mental health. I believe that the things, and I'm not going to go into all the different avenues of it, because it's a very, very complex subject, and I'm not an expert at it. I can tell you now that I've had to dig very deep in my own mental health to get myself through certain situations, prison, depression, different things. And the one thing that I always landed on is that you've got to train your brain. Your brain, I promise anyone who's listening to this, your brain is like a muscle, right? It's like a muscle. And it's also like, it's a living, breathing thing, okay? So imagine the only thing that your brain's consuming is dopamine hits from a Candy Crush game, or watching shit on TV, or watching Love Island, or just going and looking at maybe girls or men that you can't really attain because of your current situation on Instagram and all that. All these things, right? They give you, what happens with the dopamine hit is you get the hit, and then you get a crash after it. And what happens is you're always looking for that next dopamine hit. And so what it becomes is this addictive state, a little bit like a drug addiction or a gambling addiction. And what happens is the first hit is the best one.
Yeah.
And then afterwards they never quite hit, and then you feel worse. and worse and worse. And then different mental health problems start evolving from that. Now, again, we're not going to dissect the mental health side of things, but what I'd advise anyone that's listening to this, right? Because all these things we talk about, right? If you want to be able to get more women, or you want to feel better in yourself, you want to get in better shape, you want to have more confidence, you don't want to feel more depressed, you want to have more money, all the things that could apply to a woman or a man or whatever, is it starts first thing in the morning. And that means that your actions are, and for anyone that maybe watches things or wants some things to watch, listen to David Goggins, listen to his mindset, get your mind ready for doing the things you don't want to do. If getting up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or whatever to go to the gym, you literally immediately say, your first reaction when I'm saying that now is fuck that. Like, I would never. And by the way, that used to be my reaction. Fuck, I don't need to go. I could go at 8.
I used to like go early and earlier. Come on, wake up, wake up. Just, and we're getting lower and lower.
The reason you've got to do it is not because of all the benefits I could list for you,
and not because everyone says get up at 5.
No. The reason you've got to do it is because you don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's
the comfort zone. Once you're out of your comfort zone, then your whole life.
And then what happens is you start thinking, I've done it. I've got up. And you get this, it's a different type of dopamine hit. It's a dopamine release.
It's constant.
It's a release.
Releases throughout the
different.
day.
It actually releases throughout the day.
It does,
it's like a progressive release of feeling good, of achievement. See, achievement is different from dopamine. Dopamine you could get from like a vape, or you could get from like a drink. That's the difference. It's quick, it's short term. When you've actually got like achievement, you've got significance. Significance is another one. Every single human being in the world desires significance. That's what you get up.
We're social beings, that's why. It's a very social life we live.
In the social environment, in the hierarchical structure of society, people want to earn the most money for power. They want people to look at them and admire them. They want women or men to want to be with them. They want people to want to be friends with them. They want all these different things. People get into really good shape because people will look at you and go, wow, you're in really good shape. How'd you get into that? And then also it makes you feel good. And these are all things that are attached to significance. Now, if you are not channeling your energy into either bettering yourself on some level, whether that's physically, mentally, business-wise, financially, all these different things, you're not going to attain significance. So every time you watch, what you don't understand is every time you watch, I don't know, a Love Island, and you don't feel good about yourself, but your friends are watching it, so it's going to make you feel like shit. I promise you it will make you feel like shit. The guys are going to be in better shape. The women are going to be in better shape. All these different things that are just going to make you, and then you're going to talk amongst yourselves about them. And what you don't realize is you're literally driving yourself into a negative spiral. And that's the problem with it, is that you're looking for, like you said, short-term escapes, short-term fixes, and these are all attached to those dopamine hits, which are extremely bad for your system.
Watching them Love Island, you're almost living it for that hour.
Yes.
Yeah. You're almost 9 till 10, then 10 o'clock's done, right.
Back to
fucking
reality.
Hell, no likes on this,
Debts.
or I've got shit.
Yeah.
I've got this to pay, or I'm arguing with this my missus and my partner.
Yeah. It's a grey area as well, but like females that constantly post half-naked pictures.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's a sharp U-turn.
This is going to go
I forgot
straight,
we were dealing with Antoni.
I know, yeah. He's like, that sounded all good and well, mate. Because that's a good point. He's like, yeah.
It's to the point where it's like, cool, they do it. Why do they do it? You have to ask yourself this. They do it for the male validation. That's what a lot of people, because I've asked this to the public, and I was like, why do they do it? I said a video, it's like, females only post half-naked pictures, and I said, because they want male validation. Something along those lines. Now, I done it as a joke. For those who don't know, all my videos are a joke. But every person will just get offended because they're like, oh, that's not true. It's like, so why'd you do it? Why'd you feel the need to post half-naked pictures so frequently, so constantly? All right, would you still keep the picture up if it got no likes? Why not keep it in your camera roll just for you? If you like it so much, send it in your girls' group chat. Why do you need to put it on the internet so consistently?
Well, I watched. I know you do those like interviews in the street and stuff, and they're great. And you put people in those situations where you ask them a question, and we'll get one up in a minute. I watched a similar type of thing pop up on like TikTok, and it was basically a chap and his girlfriend were on the beach, and this like American like interviewer type guy comes up to him and says to the girl, "Is it okay for your man to like other girls' pictures?" And she went, "Absolutely not." And he says, is it okay for you to post half naked pictures of yourself?
Yeah. I saw that
And she
one,
went, yeah, of course. And he
Yeah,
said, well, why
I
is
done
it
that
okay
question.
for...
I
Yeah.
literally,
I
actually done
seen
it
that one,
because there was a couple, and then I said to her, "Do you post half naked? Like, how do you feel if your partner likes bikini pictures? Oh, I think it's wrong. What if it's a celebrity? I don't care. He's never going to see her. What about if it's your friend? Oh, it's wrong. Do you post them? Well, yeah. Like, so do you not feel like it's disrespectful for him?
Yes, that's it, yeah.
Okay, social media. We've got to remember what that social media there. Everyone is doing everything for attention.
That's the currency.
That's what
now.
everyone's doing it for. Now, how you get it? Where do you draw the line on what's
Positive and negative attention.
That's what I'm saying.
You do it all the time. You
What,
put
half
your stuff
naked
out.
pictures?
No, you put.
Can we put my
Can we
OnlyFans
get a
link up?
picture of Ty half naked,
Link in
please?
bio, Ty,
Yeah,
Ash.
yeah.
But you say to yourself, okay, you say your opinions of you're lazy. Yeah, you want to change your lifestyle. You see everyone post like nice cars and things. You want it. You got to put in the work.
Yeah.
But the harsh reality is people don't want to hear that. They want it.
No, they don't. I get masses
Yeah,
of
I can imagine.
backlash. Oh, life is all about balance, bro. Hey,
not just
listen,
all
I talk about football and normal
What
stuff
did I
like
do?
what we're talking about.
I did
but-
one today. Yeah, I did one today, and I was like, "Look, everything's not about money, but it's right at the top next to oxygen."
Yeah.
And I had two people go, "Oh, it's not everything's about money." I was like, "It's just a little play on fucking."
I think personally, the reason I put the attachment next to money, which is, because there's a couple of videos I've had that have gone pretty, I say viral. They've hit like millions of views, and one was about kind of you don't need to be in the nightclub, which I mentioned on another podcast, and that was about being attached, putting your time aside and focusing on a business or focusing on whatever you need to do. And the other thing is that if you put your attachment to money or to achievement, that is a very positive thing to do. And the reason being is you're attaching your actions to something, because unfortunately, if you try really hard at something and you don't attach it to a goal, unfortunately, you run out of steam very quickly.
You can't measure the progress.
No, there's no measurables. You run out of steam. And finance and money are the easiest way to measure it.
It's a good measurable, yeah.
Yeah. How much money is it brought in? I've put in this much effort to it. I've worked at it for 6 months. Has it given me any revenue? And if not, why? And then it doesn't mean give up. It means tweak it.
Yeah.
Right. So it hasn't given me this revenue. I've got to tweak it and I've got to get better at it. And that's what business is. And then you get this. And then what happens? You get the achievement, and then you get the significance, and then you get all of the nice things and the accolades that come with it. And that's where you feel. It really does. I'm not saying it gets rid of, depression and things like that, but it certainly counteracts it.
What is Jordan Belfort? He goes, I've been rich and I've been broke, and I pick rich every time.
Yeah, of course.
He actually said, he said, I've been depressed being rich, and I've been depressed being poor. I've been happy being rich, but I've never been happy being poor.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
When people say money doesn't buy happiness, I'm sorry. Like, that's
I'm sorry.
It's bullshit. Like, it just helps things a lot more. No one's stressed for bills. Think how many people are stressed. Oh shit, I've got my bills coming out the first. I haven't got paid yet. It was a slow month, or I didn't get much commission. I haven't got my targets. Shit, I might get dropped. Like, all these things all stem to money. That's the reality.
I said to you, I've had the most fucking dreadful days in my time, and then I've just gone to the car park and took my Lambo out for a spin, and I feel better.
Yeah.
How much was your insurance as well? I remember you posted that. How much was your insurance?
12 grand.
Exactly. That's literally
that's going up.
That's going up.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's like half of some people's salaries, and you're like, just on insurance. You don't want to know the running costs, but to have nice things, you got to put.
You got to make sacrifices. You got to do shit you don't want to do, and you got to observe the masses.
I remember, I remember when I was talking about costing for stuff like that, and then it was and I was like, yeah, but it cost this, and yeah, but it cost that, and then the only solution I could ever land at was
make more money.
Just earn more money.
That's the reality.
It makes yourself accountable. We said that the other day when you're employing someone new now, and it's like, we just make ourselves more accountable to fucking start earning more money.
And that's, I think at the end of the day, life is about, maximising who you are and what you can do. And I think that, listen, we're in a world now where the good and the bad are all blurred in together. There are girls and guys making money in a multitude of different ways from attention online. And I think that, there's no real way to decipher what's right or wrong. All I'd probably say is go with your gut feeling, isn't it?
Can you sleep well at night?
There you go.
Yeah. Well,
let me ask you one question before we go. Yeah? One question, because you've got 1 minute. Yeah?
Yeah.
How do you feel about girls posting half naked pictures, like bikini pictures? How do you feel about them posting them online? All right, how do you feel
your girlfriend or just in general?
How do you feel about girls that do OnlyFans? Girls that do OnlyFans, how do you feel about them?
If they can sleep well at night, and they're happy, then all for them to do it.
Okay,
But,
see you there.
yeah.
No.
I would say, kind of mirroring slightly what Reis has said, is that it's all down to the individual person. Your life is going to take shape based on what you put out online. It's never deleted. So there's going to be a day where if you've got really intense clips of yourself on OnlyFans, there's a chance that if you ever have children, their mates are going to find that at school and your kid's going to get ripped for it. That's all I'll ever say.
Yeah, it's true.
But
They don't think of
as
these.
far as if it was my girlfriend, no.
Nah, just gonna go on to that one. How would you feel if your girl wanted to start on OnlyFans?
No chance.
Why?
Just wouldn't.
Yeah, it's not happening.
It's not happening.
Why?
Don't know.
That's my personal choice, and I'll stick by that.
Yeah. It's firmly.
I do not need to justify that to anyone. It's just a flat no.
But you like all these girls' pictures online on Insta.
I don't like their
Nah.
OnlyFans.
He looked at
Maybe
you.
2
Wait, did
years.
we say it?
Maybe a few years
Reis
ago.
cancelled
but
all his memberships ages
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. Can someone check if they're still?
Still active, yeah? They're still active.
So no,
Yeah.
no.
I think. Look, I think it's all down to personal preference. I'm sure there's people who've got in happy relationships with men and women that do OnlyFans.
Other geezers
As long
don't
as
have the
you're
same
okay with
mindset.
it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
Because
you're
I
okay
interviewed
with
a
it.
girl, and I didn't realize there was a couple. And I was like, how would you feel if your partner started OnlyFans? It was like, I manage her OnlyFans. I was thinking, wait,
Wow.
what's her profile? And I felt to bring it up,
nuts.
but it was crazy to think, for the same price as Netflix, I can see your girls right next to you.
That's nuts.
Bleep that out, won't it?
Oh, okay. But for the same price as Netflix, I can see your girls'
Yeah.
whole
that-
package.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you're putting a price on it.
Is that all it's worth?
That's what I mean.
Literally.
Like, you are putting a price
Yeah.
on it.
Is that all it's worth?
What's the link again?
Yeah.
Every girl that you see nowadays on my Explore page is link in bio. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I still double tap it.
Depop, yeah, it's understandable.
Right, nice one, guys.
Yeah.
Well, look,
Wicked.
Wrap it up there.
that was class, and
Love that,
you know,
Andy.
thanks for coming in, Antoni.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank you
one.
guys for having
Awesome
me.
guy.
It's been good.
Pleasure.